Hello and welcome, and in today's video we are going to be looking at arguably one of the most influential Fords in the company's history. We are going to be looking at the Ford Sierra RS500 Cosworth. Ford and Cosworth teamed up together to take an ordinary family vehicle and make it absolutely unstoppable. And this wasn't too difficult because at that time Cosworth was producing some of the most powerful engines for the F1 vehicles. So by adding an aluminum head and a turbocharger the size of some of the cars at the time's brake disc, this allowed the Sierra to produce 167 kilowatts. That is 17 kilowatts less than the new Ford Focus ST. So keep that in mind, that's new hot hatch performance back in 1986. So that meant this car was able to propel itself up to 150 miles per hour. Now in 1986, there were other cars that could do that same top speed. For example, the BMW E30 M3. But those cars were out of reach for your average person. Whereas the Sierra wasn't. The Sierra was actually 6,000 pounds cheaper, which means your average person could go out and get one. And in Gran Turismo 7 you can get one too. Now Cosworth and Ford did not only look at the engine when they thought about completely changing the Ford Sierra. No, they also added an LSD, upgraded suspension and the iconic rear wing that, unlike most of the cars at the time, was actually functional. The rear wing actually gave the car downforce to help it go around corners quickly and effectively. Now that didn't stop the car from still being a lively vehicle, and that even comes across in game. If you watch any video of people talking about the Ford Sierra Cosworth, then you'll learn that at the time this car was absolutely nuts to drive. This is in the time where there was no traction control, stability control, there was nothing. It was just you and the car, and if you couldn't handle the car was gonna take over and you are gonna go flying into a wall. So that experience comes across in Gran Turismo. Turn the traction control off, turn all the assists off, and you can experience just what the people experience when driving this vehicle. And that's exactly what I did, and oh boy was it a handful. Even though for modern times it isn't the fastest car, it doesn't feel like a super fast sports car or anything, but it's still an exhilarating experience. And here's a fun fact for you. Remember earlier how I said because of how affordable it was, everyone could own one? Even if you couldn't afford one, you could still own one because this car was incredibly easy to steal. And since it had basically supercar performance, everyone wanted it. And all you needed was a screwdriver and 5 minutes, because Ford decided to put cheap locks on the car, and it was just so easy to steal that the Ford Sierra was 5.5 times more likely to be stolen than any other car. Insurance companies were actually charging a higher premium than the actual cost of the car, which made it impossible to actually insure this vehicle. Ford even tried to combat this level of theft by even decreasing the price of it, make it even more affordable for more people to own it. They had no luck with this because the car still remained the most stolen car in Britain. But where Ford did have luck with this vehicle was on the racetrack. This car dominated every single race that it got put into, to a point where the car won 84% of the races that it was put into, making it the most successful race car in existence. If you saw a Ford Sierra on circuit, you knew, put your money on that car because that was a guaranteed win. If you were the driver and you were given the Ford Sierra, which was the perfect tool for the job, and you didn't win the race, that's on you, because there's absolutely no reason for you to not win with this vehicle. At the time, this car was a guaranteed win. It was the only thing that could dominate the circuit. Now these race cars were producing 500 brake horsepower, double the horsepower of the standard street car. Now in Gran Turismo 7 we can get close to that by fully upgrading the Sierra to experience what it would be like to be behind the wheel of one of these monstrous race cars. The closest we can get to that 500 brake horsepower mark is 422, and this is with throwing every performance part that we have into the Sierra. So fully maxed out, the car produces 422 brake horsepower and comes in at a weight of 989 kgs. So regardless, this is still going to be a fun vehicle. Now once you make all of those changes to the Sierra, it becomes a completely different monster. Now even with tuning, it is quite difficult in my opinion to get this car absolutely perfect. I'm sure you can, but personally I was struggling to get there. But one thing I can admit, with this livery that I found, it looks absolutely spot on. Now when it comes to the performance of this vehicle, if you try to drive it with no traction control, no any assist on, it is a complete hazard, and I am all for it. Give me that authentic driving experience. I want to experience what the drivers felt back in the day. Now with the setup that I have in the car is very hard, it is very planted, very stiff. Now yes, that is good for going around corners, but the minute the car hits a curb or anything, then it does want to fight. Now with 422 brake horsepower going to rear wheels, the car is able to kick its rear end out. But the thing is, it doesn't want to. It wants to, but also doesn't want. It doesn't know what it wants to do. And that's what's kinda tricky, but also makes it fun about driving the Sierra. Because you don't know whether, okay, you're going to be able to maintain it, or if the car's going to have grip, or if the car is just going to try and kill you. That's fun to me for some reason. This car offers such an authentic driving experience. And, okay, when this car was released, it costed 200,000 credits, which is quite a lot. I would have thought that this vehicle would have come out in the legendary dealership, considering the legacy that this car holds. However, it's in a normal used dealership with some random old Fiats and whatnot. This car should have been in the legendary dealership. Keep it at the same price, however. Now the car, even when you try and turn the traction control on, the car still wants to fight, it wants to slip, it wants to just fight you and make you the best driver possible. You need all of your driving skills and abilities to keep this car in line. And that is what I love about the Ford Sierra Cosworth. It offers an experience that you don't really get from modern cars. This car it leaves me speechless. Now as you can see, I went off, I ran wide, I went into a barrier. This is now because I have no assist on, and the car's, I'm actually losing a battle to the car. So yes, the car is tough to drive, but once you get the hang of it, it is absolutely incredible. So with all this being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Check out the Ford Sierra if you haven't. If you have the ability to purchase it now, because we don't know when it will be coming back. So with all that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this one. Don't forget, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.